Hey there, Facebook. Tom Suvansri, Perennial Pride, here for another prideful conversation. Hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully, had a great week as we end here on Friday. Supposed to heat up this weekend, so hopefully, have some fun outside, jump in some pools if they're open. I don't think ours is open yet, but any rate, so I wanted to just come here quickly, share some thoughts around what inspired me this week. And I had the fortune to catch up with my mom, who's in Jersey still, and talk a bit about just catch up and talk about things, talk about just life in general, what's going on, and we migrated to talking about my father, who's now since passed, but learning more, reminded me of some of the the history of him coming over this country and some of the challenges and struggles and journey he went through, you know, coming to this country and setting up shop here, and giving us a leg up to progress in our lives. And one of the things that sort of came out through the conversation is that my father was an extremely generous person. He was always giving. People looked to him to lead and take charge when he was as a member of the Thai Physician Association, always sort of leading up and organizing events and leading the charge. And a lot of the things he would pay for a lot of things himself and fund things, and because he felt compelled to do so, and he enjoyed it. And he would often support family members and bring them over to America to get educated and give them a leg up in life and help funding them. He felt sort of compelled to do so, and I'm sure it feels good. Just like anyone else, we helping people, when we do that, it feels good. That is a selfish nature, but in a lot of ways, he was just always giving, and sometimes to the detriment of himself and his family. I don't think he sort of did some of those things to solidify, the family foundation, certainly around his financial life. And some of those things, obviously, unfortunately, kind of came back to bite him later in life. But because of his giving nature and selflessness, he wasn't serving himself and certainly sometimes his family in a way that I think he wanted to. And it's a good lesson for us to, in times like today, when it's a little bit less certain of what's going on, and there's a lot of need out there. I think that the thing that I sort of think about for myself and things I share with my family and those around me is it's okay sometimes to be selfish, to think about yourself and put yourself in the center, because when you do that, it allows you to also free yourself up to be more for others and give more to others, because you feel good about what's happening in your world and protecting yourself and doing all the things right for yourself, from finances to health to just mental state, and taking charge of that responsibility, which is a big one, put you in a better position to be there and be mindful and be sort of present for everyone else. And I think that's just so key in this environment. And as we translates to kind of what we do in our financial lives is so imperative, right? We got to own that ourselves. If we don't own it, someone's going to own it for us, and we know what unfortunately happens with that. More of our money gets stripped away from us, and we can't even use it for our families. A lot of people are vying for our dollars. So taking ownership to look at what we're doing and how we're doing the basics, right? This goes back to fundamentals, like how are we protecting our income and assets, right? Do we have the right protections in place in case things happen, which we know in this day and age, anything can happen. It's just crazy to think. So there's uncertainty all around and challenges that we're going to always face. So having the right protections in place so that our assets, our income, our life are all protected in the way that we want. The second piece of that is just saving money, right? It's a very simple concept. And when I think about saving money that is free from loss, is accessible. We can use that for whenever we need, for emergencies or more hopefully opportunities, but saving that in places that can be still productive. And we're often taught, and we've commingled the concepts of saving and investing. Like, you save in a 401k plan. Well, you're not going to use that for 20 plus 30 years, and it's invested in something that actually could lose money, and we can't even access it for long periods of time. So that to me is not saving. Saving could be in banks, could be in money markets, could be in where I would consider the best place long term is in life insurance that builds up cash that's immune from taxes. That has a lot of other benefits than just storing money in a bank. But at least having some money stored and saved on a consistent basis is so key. And then when I think about investing, I often get this question often is where do I invest? Well, to me, you have to step back and say, what can I control? And I said, well, investing in your education, personal development, that to me is probably the biggest return you can have on anything is trying to become better, a more valuable employee, valuable business owner, whatever it is, that you can use those sort of key skills and knowledge and information to expand what you're doing, become more valuable. That to me is a massively important investment that we make in ourselves, right? Selfishly, and to make ourselves more useful and more productive. That is very, whether it's courses on productivity, learning about real estate investing, which I often get questions around, like how do I get into real estate? Well, you got to learn this stuff. Getting around, being around masterminds and other groups, networking, these are all investments that we can make other than just putting into, say, a fund or something and hopefully it goes up. The second part is maybe investing in a business, right? These are things that we can hopefully have more ownership and control over, and to me, it mitigates some of the risk because we can shape it and maybe change direction. And even if you are working in a job, maybe considering a side business that you can grow and develop and learn about. So those are really important areas to maybe consider. And to me, I think ultimately it gets back to protecting what I think is our biggest asset is us and our ability to earn, to produce, to innovate, and protecting that to the highest level. Because, which we do know these days, and we get reminded every day in the news, stuff happens all the time. And so we can't predict that, but what we can do is control how we protect and how we save and how we invest in ourselves. That allows us to become better as humans, better in our work, our businesses, and then produce and bring more value to this world. And so the impact is, to me, infinite. So today I just want to leave you this quick message around it's okay to be selfish sometimes, and giving is great, and we all want to provide value in our own unique way. But being selfish is something that actually is a good thing for the world around us, and it's something in these sort of unique times is something that we ought to do more of, so we can show up and be better for our families, our communities, and the world around us. So I love to chat with anyone who found this interesting and helpful, and if there's ways I can help you become more selfish, certainly reach out, and have a wonderful day and weekend. Enjoy whatever it is, the sunshine out there, and see some positivity in your life, because there's plenty out there if you're just looking. So have a great day, and we'll see you again in the next one.